The automotive graveyard is filling up faster than anyone expected, and most drivers have no idea they're about to get caught in the crossfire. 7 major car brands are vanishing from American roads by 2026, and if you buy one of these vehicles today, you could be stuck with a worthless piece of metal that nobody wants, nobody will service, and absolutely nobody will buy from you. This isn't another temporary market slump or economic hiccup. We're witnessing the complete extinction of brands that dominated highways for decades. The warning signs are flashing red everywhere, but buyers keep walking straight into financial quicksand, lured by tempting discounts and final edition badges that are really just clever ways to dump inventory before the lights go out forever. The auto industry doesn't announce funerals. Instead, they throw farewell parties, slap commemorative stickers on doomed models, and hope you don't notice the doors getting chained shut behind you. That's exactly what's happening right now as regulatory pressure mounts, EV mandates spread across states, and automakers make brutal decisions about which brands deserve a future. Take Mitsubishi, a name that once represented reliable, affordable transportation for millions of Americans. In 2024, they managed to sell just 109,843 vehicles across the entire United States. To put that pathetic number in perspective, Tesla moves more cars than that in less than 3 weeks. While Mitsubishi's sales actually increased 25.8% from the previous year, those numbers are still embarrassingly small for any brand trying to survive in the American market. But the real story isn't hiding in sales figures, it's in what's happening behind closed doors across the country. Nearly half of all Mitsubishi dealerships have quietly vanished since 2018, disappearing from strip malls and automotive districts without fanfare or explanation. The dealers still clinging to the franchise face a nightmare scenario where they can't get basic parts for routine repairs. Customers wait months for simple maintenance items that should take days. Oil filters, brake pads, even floor mats become special orders that may never arrive. Mechanics are abandoning the brand entirely because there's no profit in servicing cars that barely exist in their communities. Independent shops refuse to work on Mitsubishis because parts procurement has become a full-time job with no guarantee of success. Mitsubishi has essentially stopped investing in new models for the American market, and everyone in the industry knows it. The company is just running out the clock, hoping to squeeze whatever profits they can from their remaining inventory before the inevitable shutdown. Current owners are already discovering what happens when corporate support evaporates. Service appointments get cancelled, warranty claims drag on indefinitely, and resale values crater because dealers won't touch trade-ins they can't service. But Mitsubishi's slow fade looks graceful compared to what just happened to America's muscle car legends. Dodge brutally executed both the Charger and Challenger after 2023, ending production of 2 models that weren't struggling, weren't outdated, and weren't unprofitable. These were automotive icons with devoted followings and strong sales, right up until the moment Stellantis decided to sacrifice them for their electric vehicle transformation. The parent company invested $99 million in EV manufacturing facilities while simultaneously destroying the gas-powered monsters that built Dodge's reputation. The replacement vehicles might wear similar names, but they deliver completely different driving experiences. Electric muscle cars that sound like vacuum cleaners instead of roaring V8 engines, performance that relies on batteries and software instead of displacement and horsepower. The transition has been a disaster for current owners. Those final edition badges that commanded premium prices are now worthless marketing gimmicks attached to platforms heading straight to the scrapyard. Dealers are already steering customers away from Charger and Challenger trade-ins because they understand what's coming next. Once factory support disappears and parts become scarce, these muscle cars will transform from desirable collectibles into expensive lawn ornaments that nobody wants to touch. The aftermarket can't save them because the entire ecosystem depends on factory backing and dealer networks that are rapidly shifting focus to electric alternatives. Chevrolet joined the execution party by axing the Camaro after 2024, despite the model's reasonable sales performance and cultural significance. General Motors officially cancelled development of the 7th-generation model in early 2025, admitting there was no business case for continuing the legendary pony car as the company commits to an all-electric lineup by 2035. What makes this particularly brutal is how suddenly it happened. The Camaro wasn't failing in the marketplace. It had loyal customers, strong brand recognition, and decent profit margins. But GM decided that every dollar needed to flow toward electric vehicle development, not nostalgic throwback models that represent the past instead of the future. The ripple effects hit owners immediately. Depreciation accelerated beyond normal rates, especially for base models and non-specialty trims. Parts scarcity concerns started surfacing before production even ended, as suppliers began winding down their Camaro-specific operations. GM Authority reported that the entire project was blown apart during internal reviews, leaving absolutely no hope for resurrection under any circumstances. Current Camaro owners face the same bleak future awaiting all orphaned vehicle buyers. Repair costs will skyrocket as parts become harder to find. Dealerships will lose expertise as technicians move on to other brands. And resale values will continue their downward spiral as the pool of potential buyers shrinks with each passing month. While American muscle cars die dramatic deaths, some brands just quietly fade into irrelevance. The Nissan Leaf, once hailed as the electric revolution's pioneer and the world's first mass-market EV success story, became a cautionary tale about being first versus being best. Production ended with the 2024 model year, marking the conclusion of what started with such promise over a decade ago. The Leaf's downfall wasn't sudden corporate sabotage. It was slow strangulation by superior competition that left it looking ancient and obsolete. Battery technology advanced rapidly, but the Leaf didn't evolve with it. Most models struggle with everyday commutes due to limited range that feels pathetic compared to modern EVs. The original battery design became hopelessly outdated with no fast charging capabilities and no viable upgrade path for existing owners. Current Leaf drivers report severe battery degradation that turns their cars into expensive paperweights. Replacement battery packs cost more than the vehicles are worth, assuming you can even find a dealer willing to perform the work. Many service departments have stopped training technicians on Leaf-specific repairs because the demand doesn't justify the investment. Nissan's focus shifted entirely to newer EV platforms like the Ariya, leaving Leaf owners stranded with charging infrastructure that increasingly skips over their unique connectors. Public charging networks prioritize faster, more common standards, making long-distance travel nearly impossible for Leaf drivers. The resale market tells the real story. At auto auctions, most dealers won't even bid on Leafs because they know the vehicles are unsellable to retail customers. The Leaf achieved the dubious distinction of becoming the first electric vehicle to reach true orphan status, proving that environmental friendliness doesn't guarantee long-term support. Chrysler's situation might be the most pathetic collapse of all. The brand that once defined American luxury and innovation has been reduced to just two aging models, the Pacifica minivan and the ancient 300 sedan. In 2024, Chrysler moved fewer than 200,000 vehicles total across both models, and most of those went to rental car companies and government fleets, not actual retail customers who had a choice. Stellantis has clearly given up on Chrysler as a standalone brand worth preserving. No new models are in development, no marketing campaigns even pretend there's a bright future ahead, and dealer showrooms sit mostly empty except for whatever leftover inventory they're desperately trying to clear. The 300 sedan disappeared with zero fanfare or official announcement, and the Pacifica only survives because there's literally nowhere else for American minivan buyers to go. Dealers are quietly converting their Chrysler showrooms into used car lots or service bays just to generate enough revenue to keep their businesses alive. The brand is being slowly absorbed into Dodge and Ram operations while Stellantis carefully avoids any official announcements that might crash used car values before the final shutdown becomes inevitable. Current Chrysler owners face an uncertain future, with warranties that might not be honored, parts that might not be available, and service departments that might not exist next year. The brand's death is being managed as quietly as possible to avoid triggering a panic, but the writing is clearly on the wall for anyone paying attention. Infinity's collapse tells a similar story of luxury brands losing their identity and relevance in a rapidly changing market. Sales plummeted 10.2% in 2024 to just 58,070 vehicles, down from over 64,000 the previous year. The Q60 Coupe essentially disappeared with only 52 units sold all year, representing a catastrophic 95.1% drop from 2023 levels. Even the Q50 sedan, once a volume seller that competed with BMW and Mercedes offerings, fell 12.5% as customers fled to brands with actual innovation and long-term support. The QX50 crossover was the only model showing any growth, but industry insiders report that Infiniti might eliminate both the QX50 and QX55 by August 2026 as part of a broader restructuring. Most dealers don't even bother stocking Infinitis anymore, because the inventory just sits on lots collecting dust and tying up valuable floor plan financing. Younger luxury buyers care more about Tesla's technology integration or Genesis's distinctive styling than an Infiniti badge that's lost all meaning and recognition in the marketplace. The brand's collapse accelerated as parent company Nissan redirected resources toward more profitable ventures. Marketing budgets disappeared, product development froze, and dealer support evaporated. What's left is a zombie brand stumbling toward extinction, while current owners wonder who will honor their warranties and service their vehicles in the coming years. What makes these brand deaths particularly dangerous for consumers is how quickly the entire support ecosystem collapses once corporate headquarters makes the decision to pull the plug. When automakers abandon platforms and discontinue models, everything that made ownership tolerable disappears almost overnight. Parts suppliers immediately cut ties and redirect their production capacity toward profitable models. Dealerships close their doors or convert to other franchises, taking decades of specialized knowledge and diagnostic equipment with them. Even routine maintenance becomes a nightmare when filters, fluids, and basic wear items are no longer readily available through normal channels. The financial impact hits owners in devastating waves that most people never see coming. First comes the resale value crash as word spreads about discontinuation and potential support issues. Then parts scarcity drives up repair costs exponentially, turning minor fixes into major financial decisions. Finally, the complete loss of dealer support makes the vehicles essentially worthless, except as parts donors for other desperate owners facing the same predicament. Warranty claims get delayed indefinitely or denied outright as companies redirect their customer service resources toward profitable model lines. Technical service bulletins stop being issued, software updates cease, and recall repairs become impossible when replacement parts are no longer manufactured. Smart buyers need to recognize the warning signs before getting trapped in this automotive quicksand. Avoid any brand that can't demonstrate a clear, well-funded product roadmap extending at least 3 years into the future. Stay away from final edition marketing gimmicks that are really just inventory clearance sales designed to move aging stock before support disappears. Never trust corporate promises about reinventing or reimagining brands that are clearly circling the drain. Companies facing extinction always make grandiose announcements about comeback plans and revolutionary new directions, but these are usually just stalling tactics designed to keep current owners from panicking and flooding the used car market. Focus your attention on brands with strong financial backing, clear electric vehicle strategies, and expanding dealer networks. Toyota's hybrid expertise and global manufacturing scale. Tesla's continuous innovation and proprietary charging infrastructure. Hyundai and Kia's aggressive EV development programs backed by serious warranty support. These companies aren't just adapting to industry changes, they're actively driving the transformation. The automotive landscape is changing faster than most people realize, and the next 2 years will separate the winners from the losers. Regulatory pressure, EV mandates, and shifting consumer preferences are forcing automakers to make brutal decisions about which brands and models deserve continued investment. By 2026, American roads will look noticeably different, missing the familiar rumble of muscle cars and the trusted badges that defined generations of driving experiences. The survivors will be the companies that saw this transformation coming and positioned themselves accordingly. For everyone else, the clock is ticking toward automotive extinction. Don't let nostalgia, attractive pricing, or smooth-talking salespeople fool you into buying tomorrow's orphaned vehicles. The graveyard is expanding rapidly, and once your chosen brand gets buried there, there's absolutely no coming back from the dead. Choose wisely, Because the difference between a smart purchase and a financial disaster might be as simple as reading the warning signs that are already flashing red across the industry. The automotive apocalypse isn't coming someday in the distant future, it's happening right now, and the only question is whether you'll be smart enough to avoid getting caught in the crossfire.